presentation should show what I have been talking about. We act as a kind of incubator, and then different people come in with different packages, different knowledge. For example, like Zhang Jiao from Beijing, with different way of understanding. When he first came, it was very much a compressed time. And then, we have to try to have different understanding, and then try to understand the place as well. For example, Kai would have a different way, and then go through the same process, and that would happen to Winnie and Tammy as well. So what we have done is to show you what we have been doing, and then using the 3 different cases to show you the diversity, the things that we have done. And I suppose that now it's open to the floor. If you have any questions that you would like to ask me, and see whether I can answer it. Yes.
Well, thank you very much for this presentation. I think you are really a wonderful group. Fantastic. It seems that underlying the research is a very central concept about spatial justice, right? I think several of you talk about spatial justice being the concept that informs the praxis, the research. I'm kind of, because I'm a sociologist, right? So I'm beginning to learn more about the concept of space, and I'm actually fascinated by it. But in what way would you say that, many kinds of the injustices are actually socially based? Would space be actually a medium or whatever that expresses different kinds of social injustice, like class injustice, gender injustice, racial injustice? So when you talk about spatial injustice, to what extent is space a kind of standalone dimension that really is the cause, of the kind of injustice that we see? So I guess it's quite an ignorant question to ask, but I just want to know more, learn more. So this is one thing.
Yeah,
and the second question that I have is, it seems that the whole group has a kind of romantic ideal. It seems that you're looking for something. You're in search of a kind of ideal, right? But to me, it seems to be more than just spatial justice, because you're like practicing alternative lifestyles, right? You're cultivating a kind of organic farm on your own. So you're looking for a kind of healthy living style as an alternative lifestyle. And that is more than just spatial justice. So my question is, what are any kind of values that inform your praxis, other than just the idea of social justice?
But I know that Agnes always asks difficult questions, which are difficult for me to answer. Now, regarding the first question, I think it depends. There are at least 2 schools. I think one would say that spatial, justice, the space, just spatial justice can stand on its own. So there would be something spatial justice, and there would be something on social justice. And of course, another school would say that, to some extent we have space, but nevertheless, space would be understood as a kind of mediator and thing like that. So depending on your position, depending on who's, for example, when you talk about one of the concepts that we have been trying to use to understand a lot of things is the spatiality of injustice. The space itself can be, in the process as a result, as well as like a by process. So space makes a difference. Nevertheless, space might not be able to stand really on its own. So that depends. For example, I know that, for example, YC came from UCLA. The proponent of that spatial justice is Edward Soldier. So he is fighting very hard to say spatial justice. I am not at that school. I'm slightly different, so we can talk about it later on. That's first. And the second one is, besides justice, there is some other things. Yes, I always look for utopia. I always look for something, something else than in a sense, I had one research project which is going to be completed is on urban utopia, and I am going to organize a workshop next May on urban utopia, and everyone will be welcome to come. And utopia also, depends on what position you take. For example, some would say that utopia are already present. So actually, we just try to go for it. Some others would say, utopia is not yet. We have to look for it in the future. So depending on your position and what it is, in the sense, that would be, more than justice. You would say that.
Yeah, just a quick follow-up.
Yeah.
As far as the presentations are concerned, as far as case studies are concerned, do you agree that to a large extent the kind of spatial injustice actually expresses class justice?
Say it again.
I mean, as far as the cases are concerned, is it true that to a large extent the kind of spatial injustice that is expressed is actually very much a kind of class injustice?
Not.
Like the conflicts between capital and
not
class.
Shouldn't be restricted to class. I don't think so. You want to say something? Yes, I saw your.
Because I cannot hear the
Oh, you
question.
should.
It's so far away.
Okay. So did you hear my first two questions? Yeah.
I didn't realize that
Sorry.
it didn't travel that far.
Because of the noise over there. Yeah, it's a follow-up questions. As far as the case studies are concerned, is it true that to a large extent the kind of spatial injustice being expressed, shows class injustice? Would you agree, or do you think actually it's more than that? So it cannot be explained solely in terms of the notion of space or class. So this is a follow-up.
I would say so, more than class. We can talk about it tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Yes.
I want to say something.
Oh.
But we actually, what we have learned is from the notion of spatiality. For me, for over years, like what we are studying about Henry VIII, and what I don't think it's the class struggle or the only about the matter of class. It is about space. As Henry VIII said that to change life, that is a statement, to change life, to change society, these kind of phrases mean nothing if there is no production of an appropriate space. That is, space becomes the strategy, how you redefine the urban and spatial question in the changing society. So when sociology tries to capture the social dimension, I would think spatial perspective can give me some alternative to redefine the question, how to fight for the utopia. So this is what I view as study from geography.
Yeah, I want to pick up on a word that Agnes used in her question, and that is the sort of romantic idea here. One of the things that, I mean, I'm all for space and spatial justice, who isn't? But I didn't hear anything about employment or jobs, and I expect that the squatters from the first talk, usually when people set up squatting communities around cities, it's because of employment. It's because they think they can not grow vegetables, but get some sort of foothold in typically the informal economy. And similarly, in the talk that talked about organic gardening and urban gardens, You usually can't support lots and lots of people with that. It's a good thing to do. It's healthy. You bring in people to see the Dragon Eyes in July and all of that, and that's really nice. But that's the romantic idea. So, what's the story in these places on employment, on jobs, which seems to be fundamental to any image of social or spatial justice?
Like in the case of Hong Kong, our current economy consists of only two sectors. One is real estate, another is finance. Everything gone. So we are talking about job generation mainly on these two areas. So there's nothing for the squatters, nothing for maybe some of the agriculturalists. So I think that, and also at the same time, because the whole Hong Kong is, I would argue it tomorrow, is under the land development regime. So we are talking about all this, the whole thing is just circling around that area.
But there was an industrial park in the middle of again, the first, I think it was the area that you spoke of. So that usually implies industrial jobs, not finance or real estate, but that type of employment. That's no longer.
Yeah, I think when it started, like in the 1950s.
Food, okay, food processing.
Food, things like that. 1950s, industrial jobs were there, and a lot of the jobs for the squatters were so-called industrial. I think most of the industrial jobs have gone now.
Actually, in the case of Chingwei, most of the squatters, they were the farmers. They squat the area, so that's why they have the permit for cultivation. That is for the first generation of the villages there. For the second generation, most of them would seek for the industrial job in the town center in Chingwei. Maybe their parents still cultivate. So they can keep the permit because the condition of the permit is as long as you continue the farming, you can occupy the land. They pay rent and taxes. So that is the condition. And the second point is that the squatter in Guangbantin or those kind of area, they became the food supply. Large amount of the food from the hill slope to the town center of Chingwei, as well as even far away to Central, because they have the ferry to connect Chingwei and Central. So that is made the differences.
And so you're saying this is a viable, if the permits give them the right to stay on the land, if that can be defended, that this sort of agricultural economic system is viable for the future as well, for doing agricultural production?
Yeah, at least for our case, it's right, because right now we're running a kind of organic farming. It's, yes, there's a lot of criticisms that we are too romantic, or it's like the organic food are too expensive. We are just like Brazil's, but still, like under our like unhealthy land regime, that we just trying to make a kind of alternative choice for the city, that to show that the agriculture can still run in Hong Kong, and we can produce the healthy food, other than maybe there's some rumors, the unhealthy food from the mainland.
I want to add something. Actually, the organic farming or healthy lifestyle is actually both an aim and a means. Actually, I should have put it clearly because I mentioned the farm, I mentioned the ecology and the arts and culture. For me, myself, a member of the concern group, my main concern is how to make people concerned about this event. So we developed a lot of different aspects, like the farming, the healthy thing, the ecology, the frogs, and the singing, the concert. Everything is for me is to trying to make people concerned about this district, this development. And for me, maybe it is quite really too romantic to putting the organic thing or to romanticize the squatters, because I myself now rent a house in Marshipo, and actually as the rooftop is actually the iron skin. So every time, because I always sleep late, And every time around 11 or 12, I will get, it's so hot, have to get up, because inside the house, actually, it is very hot, especially I live on the second floor. And what I'm doing, or what I'm trying to emphasize is the right to difference and choice. It is not about which is better. It is not about whether the urban is better or the sport is better, the village is better or the city is better. I think it is all about choice. And because under the trend, a lot of villages in the new territories is going to be demolished, destroyed. Not only under these new development areas planned, but also in Nam Shan Wai, in Ao Ta Mei, and other village in Yuen Long. And under both the government developments and the private properties development, everything is now destroying all the villages. And this is actually, for me, destroying alternatives and destroying choices. Yeah, so fighting and doing a lot of different aspect events, for me, is to arouse the attention and concern from the citizens. I want them to know about it before everything is demolished, and before they do not, so they have the chance to know about it. Yeah.
I'm not sure whether we have time. Actually, I love this group. I mean, I envy Mr. Tan to have these wonderful students, you know, and their critical pedagogy, I think, is very successful. I have a questions, follow-up questions to Gaga. And is that because the critical analysis of the Masipo is going to take over by the private real estates, right? They are eyeing on that because they have already built on the other side of the roads, and now they are going to encroach to the other side and build another condominiums, right? So that's why you try to squat there, in a sense. That so the question I'm always curious to ask, and then maybe this is a good opportunity to follow up, is that the analysis of your, you know, all the pictures about land, you know, land use and how the land has been purchased, you know, over the years by developers, right? And the white areas are those the land are still not purchased yet, right? So the question is that this is an analysis of how the real estate capitals encroaching into the green belt, right? And eventually want to convert it. And then you young people go there to do actions, and by having organic farms, right? And then there are local farmers working there, all kind of jobs there, right? So I think, so my question is that your analysis of the place and your actions, what the gap, how do you make the gap, right? So are you engaging the farmers, or are you trying to kill the developers, or are you trying to demonstrate a new differentiated lifestyles for your generations, or all the above? You know, it's kind of interesting that it's all same time, somehow it's all mixed together in a huge salad bowl. So I'm thinking whether you want to tease it out a bit about, you know, different means and different goals, and, you know, who are your subject, and this kind of thing. Maybe it take more time.
Everything we're doing in the village is for both the public and for also the villages. And like the organic farming things, because I just put a lot of things here, but actually a lot of events and aspects are actually built one by one, from time to time when new friends joining, new professions, and then for the organic farming, because for the village itself, it was running like the normal style, which will use chemicals and the pesticides. And so we started to do the organic thing, and we invited other farmers to join. Of course, some of them remain in the old way because it is the fact that the government is now going to develop the place, and they do not have the confidence to invest in a new cultivating method. But there is like three families of the farmers now are learning from TV, an organic farmer in Hong Kong. Yeah, learning from him and working together with the organic farm to transit from normal farming to organic farming. So and also for the ecology things, or the bread shops. and we have always been inviting the villagers to join in, and I guess, and actually for the dragon eye thing, yeah, we're doing in a way that to utilize the resources in the village, and in the same time to know that the villagers themselves can participate in and to join together, because this is their village, and we are like and stranger from outside. I live in Chiang Kwan O actually, coming far away to here to help, and yeah, we would. Another question is.
Can I follow up? I want to follow up. There's always a dilemma that people criticize us. You student, you have no idea about the village, right? And you just go to the village and claim they really need help. I think this dilemma is just from Chao-Yin-Chi movement, and even till now. But as we always claim ourselves like social activists, and one, like from the legacy of Chao-Yin-Chi movement, like we got a lot of friends that from all kinds of area, and even there are two people that they are just like quit their jobs and became really like old full-time farmers, and they just live in the village and like doing the cultivation already for like more than four months. So I think that for us we don't have any let's say government party background, and we just join together, and it's like different people have different place in their like in our actions. So I think that is can anyway can answer your question.
Sorry that in the interest of time, I think we have to stop here, but we certainly could continue the conversation over dinner. Okay. So may I sort of announce that we'll come to an end for this session and move to the next session by Professor Chen. So let's have a 3-minute break, 5-minute break, if you want. Okay.